Hello everyone. I wanted to place this trigger warning in front of all of my videos for this series because it has to do with teen suicide and the attempt of suicide in general. If this is something that is triggering to you, please enjoy one of my other series. This one can get pretty heavy due to the content. So I do want you guys to be aware of that. I also want you guys to know that you are loved, you are enough, and you matter. If you are ever feeling that way, in a suicidal way or depressed or something like that, please get out there and get help. It's not about pride. To just put that, you've got to put that away. If you are having a rough time, talk to somebody, talk to family, talk to a friend, talk to just a random stranger at the bus stop or something. You know, sometimes it's easier to get off your chest what you're feeling with someone you don't even know compared to someone that's family or friends, just because you don't have to worry about how they're going to think about you or anything like that. You gotta get those feelings out. I've got a couple of numbers here for those that may feel the way that they might be feeling. The purpose of this entire series is to bring awareness to teen suicide and suicide in general. So I do want to give you guys a couple of numbers. The first one, it's pretty simple. It's only 3 numbers. Call 988. If you feel that your needs won't be met from a regular hotline because you might be a member of the LGBTQ plus community, another number that you can call is 866-488-7386. Stay safe, love each other, and help those in need. The world is better with you in it. Thank you. Now enjoy the episode. Welcome back, everyone. Today we will be reading Chapter 13, so let's get into it. Chapter 13. I have this dream where both legs work and both arms work, and I don't have any scars on the outside. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed in dress blues, holding a pistol in one hand and a brown box in the other. Sunlight brightens the dust and ashes in my room and darkens all the places where I've nicked the walls and doors. The football rug, the one Mama Rush gave me when I made the team my freshman year, is folded neatly on my dresser so it won't get messy. I give it one last look before I turn back to what I'm doing. My fingers tingle as I touch the box. Inside, there's proof. Inside, there's a reason. Everyone will understand when they see what's in the box. I lift the gun to my mouth. It tastes oily and dusty all at once as I close my lips on cold gunmetal. But I can't. Not in the mouth. I'm shaking, but I lift the barrel to the side of my head. The tip digs into my skin. I'm thinking about what's inside the box and all the dust and ashes in places I didn't even know. Then, I'm squeezing the trigger and looking at the box and the dust and ashes and feeling my hand shake, and there's noise and fire and pain, and I'm falling, my broken head smashing into my pillow. The box in Dad's closet. I wrote about it in my memory book. I fell asleep thinking about it. I woke up thumping my stupid mark with my hand brace and thinking about it. And I got dressed thinking about it. You need to check out that box, JB whispered while I pulled on my tennis shoes. The green laces were still springy. Box, Fox, rocks. It's Dad's box. Dad's got problems right now. Later, maybe. When I pulled the laces, they snapped back in place. Rocks, knocks. What if there's something important in the box? I'm not looking in the box. Knock, knock. I know there's something important in that box. You need to find out. I made my shoelaces spring again, then stood up. No box, I said, just in case JB decided to listen. No rocks, no fox. Could be some kind of doctor papers, or maybe a picture. What if it's a letter you wrote? Don't you think you really left a letter and your dad's hiding it? Dad's not hiding stuff. Rocks. He's getting dressed. Maybe it's a tape. You could have left a tape. I hummed so I couldn't hear him. But it might be a suicide note. You might have said something about him in the note, so he hid it. Or maybe he found out about something really awful you did and he's hiding the proof. I hummed louder as I picked up my memory book and headed for the door. No more forgetting the memory book. I'd written that down. A note. That's probably it. Or something that'll get you arrested. Even though I got to the hall and shut the door, I could still hear JB talking about the note. But I didn't want to think about notes. I hadn't left a note. If I'd left a note, that would explain everything, and Dad would never hide it from me. Would he? A note in the box. I squeezed the cover of my memory book and stumbled down the steps. Maybe if I thought about shoelaces, I wouldn't think about notes. Shoelaces were better than notes. If I said shoelaces, it wouldn't bother Dad. But if I said notes, like a note in that box, he might understand and get mad, or worse, sad. No note. Don't say note. Say shoelaces. Say frog farts. Say anything else. When I got to the kitchen, Dad was pouring healthy oatmeal into a bowl for me. I didn't know if Mom was still asleep since it was Saturday, and she slept late now, even though she never used to do that before. Note, box, shoelaces, shoelaces. Dad had a conference to go to all day for the next 2 days. Continuing education, CEUs. I wondered if I got CEUs, if I'd be able to do algebra and civics and earth science. Civics, maybe, but probably not algebra. Probably not earth science either. There probably wasn't anything in that box, especially not a note. Civics, I said as I sat down. CEUs. No note. When I stirred my healthy oatmeal, it stuck to my spoon. No note. Dad grunted and ate a bite of his oatmeal, followed by a bite of not-so-healthy leftover pizza. Don't know how he swallowed oatmeal pizza, but he managed. With milk. Gross. Make you a deal, Jersey. If you go to my conference, I'll do your homework. Dad wiggled his eyebrows. Earth science and algebra too? CEUs, milk pizza. Ugh. No, on the algebra. Deal's off. He smiled. That made the circles under his eyes look bigger. He really needed to shave. Shave. I passed on the leftover pepperoni pizza when he offered me some. Counted a lot in my head and let him burn some Kool-Aid glue toast for me before it made him happy. Then I used it to scoop up the oatmeal. The oatmeal made the toast taste a lot less like Kool-Aid glue. Nothing like milk pizza. At least I didn't think it was. I managed to chew up and swallow a bite. Milk might help a lot with the glue. Only it wouldn't taste so good with the Kool-Aid part. Mom, is she still asleep? Dad sniffed and put down the pizza. She pulled an all-nighter at the bank. They're being audited next week, I think. It's a normal audit, but still, it's a lot of work. The circles under his eyes got bigger whenever he talked. There was a fairy tale about that once. Every time some kid told a lie, the circles under his eyes grew. No, wait. It was his nose. His nose got bigger. Nose, I said, only it came out gnaw. Because of the glue toast and sticky oatmeal. Gnaw sounded less like note than nose. Good. Gnaw. Are you seeing Mama Rush today, Jersey? Gnaw. Wait. Yes. Glue. Okay. Dad grinned and went after his last bite of pepperoni pizza. Finish up and I'll drop you off on my way to the conference. I told you already, you're tense, boy. Mama Rush's voice sounded like a dog growling. She stared at my memory book. Loosen up. I took a deep breath, tried to make my face look relaxed. How did a relaxed face look? Hands on the table, slow breathing, looked relaxed. Look relaxed. The sun was bright. I could see heat rising around our patio table at the palace, but at least I couldn't see Big Larry. For now, anyway. My eyes kept jumping from glued ceramic piggy bank to the patio door, like the door might pop open any second. I was tense, boy. And I had sweat behind my ears. Gross, wet ears. Worse than pizza and milk, but not worse than the glued piggy bank. Loosen up. Loosen up. I was tense, boy. Boy, was I tense. Wet ears. The pig looked like a pink alien with a great big butt face. Its nose was all smashed. One of the ears squiggled sideways. It didn't have a tail. Half of a back leg was missing. One front leg looked like my springy shoelaces. And the rest of it was all lumpy. Wet ears. It was hot. I think Mama Rush glued some of its smashed nose to its sides, or maybe she glued pieces of something else all over it. I couldn't tell. Those sides looked like pink butts, too. It was a really bad piggy bank. Yeah, but it holds the money. Can't have everything. That's what Mama Rush said when she put it on the table. It holds the money. She turned my memory book around a little, squinting at my scribbles. Wet ears. Her lounging red dress was red, and she had a red ribbon around her hair bun. You need a little computer. Her gaze flicked toward the patio door, then back to the memory book. Maybe there's money in that box you're worrying about. If there is, your dad should buy you a computer so you can read what you write. Shoelaces. I think there's a note in the box. Maybe. Money. I glanced at the patio door and rubbed behind my wet ears. Or a tape. Secret papers about me. Maybe I wrote a note. Mama Rush blew smoke out of her nose. I can't believe your father would keep something like that from you. Y'all had all that therapy, and he knows you're hurting for answers. She was looking at the patio door, not at me. So I looked at the patio door, too. The table felt so hot under my fingers from the sun. No wind, nothing moving. The air smelled like wet and smoke and glue, with a little bit of flowers and perfume. The patio door wasn't opening. Therapy, shoelaces, answers. What if he thinks the note's too bad? I couldn't quit staring at the door. I wished Mama Rush would stop so I could stop too. He might think I don't need to know, or that it'll make me upset again. She thought about this for half a cigarette. Both of us stared at the door. Smoke floated around the butt-faced pig like flat pieces of fog. From the corner of my eye, I kept seeing red from her lounge dress and ribbon. A red gin today, looking at the patio door even more than me. Her eyes seemed kind of wet. Was she waiting for Big Larry too? Was he her boyfriend? He couldn't be her boyfriend. Did she miss him? No way. How could anybody miss Big Larry? Mama Rush sighed and closed the memory book. What do you think about number 2 on your list, Jersey? Do you think it's possible you did something to feel awful about... so awful you'd want to hurt yourself? Yes, I did. I had to. Finally. I quit looking at the door, but only because Mama Rush stopped. I pointed at the memory book. Almost out of reasons. Butt pig. Alien. You've still got one more on that list. Number 6. That Arroyo girl. Awful guilt. It's got to be guilt. I wouldn't blow my head off over a girl. I like my head. The next thing I heard was a big cackle. Boy, you used to dress up in your mother's yoga tights, stick a Viking helmet on your head, and bash into the furniture. And that was just a prelude to football. You never treated your head very well. Viking? Tights? No way. Mama Rush was belly laughing now. They were pink as this piggy bank, and yes, you did. She waved her hand and chopped up one of the smoke fog pieces. The butt-face alien pig rattled when she stamped out her cigarette in the glued ashtray. She used the ashtray I made her every time we talked. It had lots of burned spots, but she didn't act like she cared. Not fair. I grabbed my memory book and dragged it across the table to me. I didn't know you when you were little. If I did, I'd have stories on you. But, alien pig, tights. My face was hurting from smiling so big, and I was laughing in little chokes. Pink tights, Viking helmet. Not possible. Frog farts. Catherine, said a deep voice. Farts! My bad hand clenched tight, my teeth clamped together. Mama Rush quit laughing fast. Her face went flat. Her eyes got squinty and her lips tightened up. Both my hands made fists as I looked up at the man standing between us. Farts. Tights. He scared me. Sneaking up and talking. He was tall. Looked like he might have had muscles a long time ago. Talking. He must have come through the door while we were laughing. Sneak. And he called Mama Rush by her first name. I didn't know a single person who did that. Except the tall sneak, whoever he was. Not Big Larry. At least Big Larry didn't make Mama Rush look like she'd eaten Dad's toast and oatmeal. Kool-Aid glue. I tried to relax my fingers. My bad hand throbbed in my jaw, and my head was starting to hurt, like a toothache behind my brain. The man stared at me. Mama Rush stared at him. She tapped her fingers on the table, sighed, and said, Carl, this is Jersey. Jersey, Carl. Carl wasn't anything like Big Larry. He didn't act like Big Larry either. No red face, no crying, no bad arm in a sling, no scooter. Carl had on jeans and a black shirt, and he would have looked lots younger except his hair and beard were silver white. He was frowning, like my dad used to. Right before he grounded me or took my computer or did something else creepy for my own good. I'm sorry to interrupt you, he said in that deep voice, but Catherine, can we please talk for a moment? Mama Rush still had that flat, narrow-eyed, tight-lipped look. Carl might not have been Big Larry, but he wasn't any smarter. If Mama Rush looked at me that way, I'd duck or run. Probably both. But I'd known her since Viking helmets and pink yoga tights, and maybe Carl hadn't. She didn't hit him, though. She just said, we have nothing to discuss. Whoa. My pragmatics might have sucked, but even I heard the ice falling off those words. Carl, who must have been stupider than me and Big Larry put together, folded his hands and tried again. Please? If you'd just hear me out, you might understand. It was a bad moment. A weak moment. You what? Mama Rush got loud in a hurry. On instinct, I scooted the alien butt-faced pig and the glued ashtray closer to me before she could throw one of them. You don't have any better sense than God gave a box turtle. You got one mashed-up brain cell that can't tell right from wrong. Don't make me get off this scooter, Carl. And don't make me keep talking. You won't like anything I have to say. This time, Carl got the message. People on the street in front of the palace probably got the message. Part of my brain got the message, too. For a second, I saw faces. Girls. Not Lisa or Alana. Girls I didn't know. Faces. 3 or 4 at least. Some laughing, some crying. Then, Alana. Or maybe it was Todd's girlfriend. Looking at me like Mama Rush was looking at Carl. Bad look. Faces. Bad. I shook my head to make the faces stop. You're so self-centered. No, not that. Not that now. Need to be quiet. Carl, really, really stupid Carl. He wasn't quiet. He tried to talk again. I blinked. Faces. The faces stayed and went, came back and went. Self-centered, self-centered. You're so self-centered. Mama Rush started to yell. She didn't take a breath, and she used lots of words I was never supposed to say again because I shot myself, and brain-injured people don't know when to use words like that and when to shut up. If I were Carl, I definitely would have shut up, even if I couldn't see faces. But Carl needed stupid marks like me, great, big, shiny ones on both sides of his head, because he kept going. Mama Rush talked so fast and loud I only got pieces in between the faces. Floozy and faithless and far-fetched. F-words to go with faces. Lots of F-words, and another one I can't say. She used that one a few times in different ways. Girl faces. I shook my head again. Too many faces. You're so self-centered. I bet you think I'm mad at you. Faces. Attila the face. No. Attila the face. No. Attila the red, who was still wearing red, appeared on the patio door, hit the auto open button, and hurried over to where we were sitting. She had her hand on her credit card headset, and she was breathing hard like she ran all the way from wherever Attila's come from. Is there a problem here? Her eyes automatically went to me. Faces, tights, and Vikings. This time I did duck, just put my head down, hugging the alien pig and the ashtray. Too many faces, too much yelling. You're so self-centered. You're so self-centered. Young man, do you need to go home? Attila asked. Mama Rush came off her scooter. How many times do I have to tell you people? This boy's with me. He's my visitor, and I say when I'm finished with my visitors, not you. Jersey, sit up straight. I sat up fast. See what I've been telling you, boy? See? You don't loosen up. You'll end up like her. Mama Rush glared at Attila, then back at me. Do you want to go home or not? Butt face, pigs, faces, tights. No matter what I said, I was so dead. Aliens. What should I say? No? Yes? You're so self-centered. No, shut up. My lips started working. I tried to swallow, but that part of my throat didn't work. Nothing came out but an idiot-sounding, Carl folded his arms. Attila kept tapping her headset. Mama Rush's expression softened a little. Listen. I don't want to let you down, Jersey, but today's probably not the best day for me to help you. Maybe you should go on home, and let's do this tomorrow or next weekend. Do you have money for a cab? Tights, I croaked, scrubbing my pocket with my hand. Pigs, aliens, faces. Okay, then. She patted my shoulder. Her eyes were starting to look a little wider and more watery. Go up front and call a ride. When I stood, she reminded me to take my memory book, and she asked me to put the pig and the ashtray back in her room. She said all that calm and sweet-like. Without looking at Carl, she said, Why don't you catch a cab too, Romeo man? She didn't say that sweet-like at all. I wondered where she wanted the taxi to take Carl, but I didn't stick around to find out. As fast as I could, I tucked my memory book under my bad arm, picked up the mended presents, lurched over to the auto open button, elbowed it, and got the hell off that patio. Without looking behind me, I headed toward Mama Rush's room with the alien pig and the ashtray full of ashes. Would she hit Romeo Man with her scooter and turn him into ashes? If she did, Attila might throw her out. Ashes. Where was I? This hall didn't look familiar. My bad hand burned. I looked left and right. The numbers on the doors blurred. This place did look lots like all the hospitals I'd been to. Smelled bad, too, like raw stink here and there. Did Romeo Man ever stink like this? Carl had to be Mama Rush's boyfriend, not Big Larry. Carl, the Romeo man. Nice, but also sort of gross if I thought about it too much. This Juliet was way unhappy with her Romeo man. Tights. If I'd stayed on the patio, she might have gotten unhappy with me. Pink tights, pink pigs, butt-face aliens. I had no idea where I was going. I couldn't remember Mama Rush's room number. Frog farts, I said out loud. Hoochie mama, frog farts, frog farts. I kept saying it. Made myself walk slower, made myself breathe slower. Frog farts. Little by little, I stopped walking. Didn't even drop my memory book or the ashtray or the alien pig. Frog farts. More deep breaths. Look around. Look around. Tights and frog farts. Okay. The next hallway looked right. A few steps later, I found it. The door was cracked, so I just pushed it open. Mama Rush's room was about the same size as mine, except it had a kitchen on one wall. She had a bedroom and a bathroom, too, but those were so little only one person could fit inside them. Just her. Not Romeo man. Good, 'cause that was the gross part. I put the pig and the ashtray on her bedroom dresser, where I knew she kept them, and for a minute I stared at the pile of clay and ceramic that hadn't been fixed. It was right there, beside the mended presents and her glue. Probably no way to save that mess. I couldn't even tell what those presents used to be. They were just broken pieces of nothing now. But Mama Rush hadn't told me she couldn't fix them, so I figured she hadn't given up yet. Or maybe she didn't want to hurt my feelings because she was scared I'd cry like Big Larry. Romeo man would have been smarter if he'd just cried. She might not have told him to call a taxi if he'd cried, even though she was mad. Only halfway home in the back of the stinky sock-smelling cab, I remembered what was waiting at home. No dad, no mom, no friends, no girlfriends, no tights, no Viking helmets, just JB. JB and the box in Dad's closet. By the time I got to my house, I was sick of the faces, sick of the pictures and words in my head. You're so self-centered. I bet you think I'm mad at you. God, my head hurts so bad. I wanted to throw up. Who were those faces? You're so self-centered, so self-centered. You're so... Head, head, head. I wanted to beat my head against the front door. It hurt bad. It wasn't even lunchtime yet, so Dad wouldn't be home for hours. I'd be alone with the faces and the box. If I stayed downstairs, maybe JB would stay quiet, but the box was upstairs, and the box felt like a big magnet, even though I was still standing outside the front door. I kept squeezing my memory book as I squinted at the Rush house, hating the bright sunlight. No cars. Lisa was probably at the track, so I couldn't call her yet. Maybe soon, though. If I could last long enough. I unlocked the front door and stuffed my keys back in my pocket. It would be okay. I'd just stay downstairs and rub the sides of my head until I could move without my brain exploding. I wouldn't go upstairs, so JB and the box wouldn't bother me. No box, no note, no bother. No being selfish, no being a Big Larry, and definitely no being a Romeo man, even if I had taken a cab. Faces, 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 faces. Don't drop the memory book, turn the doorknob, close the door behind me. No air conditioning the neighborhood. See, Mom? I remembered. My pragmatics were better. I didn't look up at all the ghost pictures, just put my memory book on the steps and stood still. Little by little, the faces faded away. No faces. Thank you. No faces. Thank you. No faces now. Just the box. The box was up those stairs in my parents' room, in their closet, just sitting there, waiting. Maybe waiting for me. JB was up there too, in my room. He got on my nerves, but at least he talked to me, even if he was a ghost. The box, closet, ghost. My fingers curled hard, making me grind my teeth. My throat ached. There was no way I left a suicide note. Did I? Ghost. But if I did... No, no, no. Ghost. Tights. Viking helmets. I needed to talk to Mama Rush again before I looked in the box. Or Lisa. Somebody. If I found a note, my dad... Note, I whispered. My voice sounded awful. I needed a glass of water. Or maybe Dad didn't drink all the milk with his pizza. Viking helmets. I started for the kitchen and heard a noise. Stopped. Listened. Nothing. Was I hearing things? Shoelaces. Tights. Had JB come down from my room and gotten in the kitchen? Tights. My heart started beating. I didn't know whether to go to the kitchen, go upstairs, or go back outside. Another noise. Tights. And then, Jersey? Mom's voice. My knees almost bent and made me fall. Mom came out of the kitchen. She was wearing jeans and a t-shirt instead of bank clothes, and she was smiling. Then her eyebrows jumped together over her nose. Are you all right, honey? You're pale and shaking. Scared me, I managed. Thought, bank, tights, aliens. Get a grip. If I go Big Larry, she'll get mad and leave. But she didn't get mad. She came up and gave me a short mom hug. I'm so sorry. I came home because I knew your father had a conference and I thought you might be, that you might want to do something together today. Like have a big lunch and go to the movies? She smiled and looked all hopeful and kind of nervous. I was too surprised to say anything, but I thought about butt-face alien pigs and tights and Viking helmets and pragmatics and a whole bunch of other stuff I needed to keep inside my mouth. My hand hurt. My head hurt. I didn't even care. My mom wanted to go to the movies. This was my mom. Mine. The mom I used to know. Refusing to scream anything about Big Larry or frog farts, I made myself smile at her and say, Sure. The word came out right. Just one word, but it made her look bright and shiny. My mom. The mom I knew. Pragmatics. I wanted to fall down again. I was so happy. It's a date, then. Mom ruffled my hair. I'm so proud of you for trying so hard. Now come to the kitchen. I promise not to make oatmeal or toast. That's it for this week. We will see you guys next week with Chapter 14.